welcome back to my 2020 holiday series. Today is a very exciting day because I have not just one, but two videos for you today that are all about decorating your Christmas tree. There's a video linked in the description below filled with tree decorating tips, tricks, and hacks. Plus, I take you through my entire tree decorating process of all 4 of my Christmas trees that I have in my home this year. So be sure to check that video out after you've watched this one. But this video is completely dedicated to all things ribbon. I used 4 different ribbon techniques this year on my trees, and I want to show you in detail how to do them all. So let's get started. I'm going to start with one of the more popular techniques being used this year, and that is cascading ribbon vertically down the tree. I use this technique on the flocked tree that is near my fireplace in the living room this year, and I really love how it turned out. I used 2 different ribbons that complemented one another and alternated those as I went around the tree. I'm starting at the top of the tree and I'm staying mindful as to which side of my tree is going to be most visible. To make a loop, I measure it with the back of my hand and then I tuck the other end of the ribbon back towards the spine of the tree, securing it with some of those branches that are near the spine, and then I repeat the process. As I continue going vertically down the tree with the ribbon, you'll notice that I don't just go in a straight line all the way down. I kind of position the ribbon either to the left or to the right. This creates movement throughout the tree with your ribbon. So while my loops are not the exact size of one another, I am staying cognizant of the size. I do want to keep them similar to one another because the look I'm going for here as I cascade this ribbon vertically down is a cohesive one. I'm not doing larger and smaller loops. I'm keeping them close to the same size to achieve this look. Once I reach the bottom of the tree, I just cut my ribbon and then I take that end and tuck it into the tree to create my final loop. Here is what the finished ribbon looks like on the tree. Your next step would be to start again with a new piece of ribbon at the top of the tree and repeat these steps to create more vertical rows going down and around your tree. Now I'm going to show you how to do this horizontally wrapped ribbon technique that I did on my entry tree. It's almost like a candy cane-like stripe, which I thought was appropriate since my tree was candy cane themed this year. So once again, I am starting at the top of my tree and I'm going to work my way down. I think it's always a good idea, regardless of the technique you're using, to start at the top of the tree and then move downward. That way you can easily ensure more even placement of your ribbon. Much like the first technique I showed you, I am making a loop and then securing the end of that loop towards the spine of the tree with the branches that are on the tree and then repeating the process. The difference here is that instead of going vertically down, I'm actually going horizontally around. Now I know typically when people wrap ribbon horizontally, they just wrap it around. I'm adding loops today in my design because I really wanted to give it that extra depth and dimension. Plus, this is a whimsical tree, so I wanted it to look like the ribbon was popping in and out through the tree and around the ornaments. As you can see here, I reached the end of my ribbon roll before I reached the bottom of my tree. So I'm just taking that end and tucking it in towards the spine of the tree, securing it with a branch, and then taking my new roll, a new piece, and making a loop right next to that, securing it in and continuing on down my tree. And here is the final look. As you can see, my entry tree in the background, I used a little bit of a different type of ribbon. It's a thinner ribbon and it's candy striped. I absolutely love how it turned out on this tree this year. So this next technique I'm going to show you is a technique I started with upstairs on my bedroom tree, and I ended up going in a different direction and not using ribbon at all on that tree, but I still wanted to show you the technique today because I think it is still beautiful and very whimsical, and it's a great way to use ribbon in your tree. So I'm going to show you that now. So again, starting at the top of my tree, I am measuring out at the end of the ribbon about 6 to 8 inches that I plan to just kind of leave as the tail of my ribbon for now. And then I am going to start to create almost like a half bow. So I'm going to make a loop in my ribbon, and then I'm going to pull the ribbon up, twist, and make another loop, as you can see here. And I'm going to make 3 loops to start this ribbon technique. And I'm going to secure that to the very top of my tree. Again, I just used the branches towards the spine of the tree to secure my little half bow that I just made. You can always use floral wire to secure your ribbon to your tree if you want just that extra hold, but I find the branches work just fine. Now I'm doing something a little different. Once I secured my little cluster of 3 loops, I am gonna take that same technique that we used in the first ribbon tutorial, the vertical cascading loop, and I'm going to make a larger loop and then secure that end towards the spine of the tree. The next step is to again create another one of those half bows that we created in the beginning. So I'm going to take my ribbon, and this time I am going to make 3 smaller loops, as you see here in my ribbon, before I tuck it back into the tree, making sure that each loop is even to one another. You want them to be the same size to create that half bow effect. Once I have my second half bow secured, I am going to make another larger loop down the tree and secure that to the spine of the tree. Notice that I am still leaving the other end of the ribbon hanging down. It's still connected to the roll. I want this because I want the ribbon to be continual throughout the tree. So I did not snip the ribbon after I made my little 3 loops. I am just going to repeat that pattern all the way vertically down the tree, making clusters of the 3 smaller loops, or the half bows if you will, and then 1 larger loop. And then once I get to the bottom, I will trim my ribbon, tuck it in, and then I would typically start again at the top of the tree and repeat the process, going down however many rows I want to have on my tree, depending on the size of the tree. And here is the finished look. The final ribbon technique I want to share with you today is one that I used on my large tree in my living room. Instead of traditionally wrapping or cascading or looping my ribbon here, I decided to make these big, beautiful red bows to create statement pieces on my tree. I then used smaller strips of the same ribbon looped sporadically throughout the tree to give the illusion that the tails of those large bows just kind of continue throughout the tree, magically popping out here or there. This ribbon technique is also why I chose to use a large bow in the same ribbon as my tree topper. It is such a traditional and nostalgic way to decorate a tree. So that's what I'm going to start with in this tutorial today. I'm going to show you how to make the tree topper first. To make the bow topper or any of the bows for this tree, I'm going to start by measuring about 8 to 12 inches of ribbon. This isn't a precise measurement, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I then pinch the ribbon, leaving the tails, making a loop, and bringing the ribbon together with my fingers. Then I twist the ribbon again, bringing it up to make that second loop. I'm going to repeat this process until I have the amount of loops I want in my bow. I'm trying to keep my loops all about the same size for each bow. Again, once I make a loop, I just grab the extra ribbon, twist, and bring it together with the others. Once I made all the loops I want for my bow, I take the longer tail of the ribbon that's still attached to the ribbon roll and wrap it around the base of all those gathered loops that I've now turned into what I think kind of looks like a bow bouquet, if you will. And I do make sure to wrap it a couple of times just to secure those loops in the bow. You can always use floral wire to secure your bows as well. I just find that mine tend to stay in place when I do this, but if yours don't, that's totally fine. I definitely suggest adding that floral wire in there. That will help your bows keep their shape. Now I'm going to cut the ribbon tail that is still attached to the roll at the same length as my other tail on the bow. I am securing the bow to the top of my tree using the surrounding branches. Again, you can use floral wire to secure your bows as well. It's up to you. I think I'm just a little lazy with it, and using the branches works for me, so that's what I do, but I'm sure the pros would tell you to probably use floral wire. Now you can leave the tails of your bow out, but I like to tuck mine under and make them look like extra loops on my bow, and then I will use a separate piece of ribbon to create my own tails to each of the bows on the tree. It's really just your preference, and it's up to you. I'm cutting all my ribbon today at an angle, but you can always fishtail the ends of your ribbon as well. I'm just going to repeat the same process when making the bows that will be placed throughout the tree as well. I'm now adding longer pieces of ribbon throughout the tree in tandem with the bows. As I mentioned before, I want the ribbon to look as if the tails of the bows just continue throughout the tree, so I'm going to place these pieces randomly, looping them through the branches. It is a good idea to use various ribbon lengths when doing this to get a more whimsical effect. And here is the finished look. So that is it for my ribbon techniques today. I hope you found this video helpful. Leave me a comment below and let me know what your favorite technique was in this video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and remember, this series is going on all season long. I'd love for you to join me here on my channel again for more holiday videos. I post videos every Monday and every Thursday, 10 a.m. Central Time, so come back then and hang out with me. I hope that you have a wonderful and a very blessed holiday season ahead, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!